For decades, Uranus was considered the most boring planet in the solar system. No giant storms, no dramatic rings, no volcanic eruptions. Just a pale blue ball drifting silently in the darkness. Astronomers barely talked about it. Most people forgot it existed. And then we looked closer. What scientists discovered wasn't a quiet planet. It was a frozen nightmare hiding behind a perfect disguise. Imagine a world so strange that a single season lasts longer than most human careers. A world where the sun can stay in the sky for more than 20 years without setting, and then disappear for another 20. A world where diamonds may literally rain from the sky. This is Uranus, and it might be one of the most unsettling places in the entire solar system. The story begins with an ancient catastrophe. Billions of years ago, something enormous slammed into Uranus. Not a small asteroid, not a comet, something massive enough to change the planet forever. The collision was so violent that Uranus was knocked onto its side. Today, while every major planet spins like a top, Uranus rolls through space like a giant bowling ball. Its tilt is nearly 98 degrees. That single detail changes everything. On Earth, the sun rises and sets every day. On Uranus, entire decades can pass without either happening. One pole faces the sun continuously for about 21 years. The opposite pole remains trapped in darkness for 21 years. Imagine being born during the long night.
Growing up, growing old, and never once seeing a sunrise. But the darkness isn't the worst part. The cold is. Uranus is officially the coldest planet in the solar system. Not Neptune, not Pluto, Uranus. Temperatures can plunge to nearly minus 224 degrees Celsius. That is colder than almost anywhere else we've ever found. Scientists still don't fully understand why. Neptune receives less sunlight, but remains warmer. Something about Uranus seems broken, almost as if the ancient collision damaged the planet from the inside. And then there's the atmosphere. If you could somehow survive the cold and descend through the clouds, the first thing you'd notice would be the smell. Rotten eggs. The upper atmosphere contains hydrogen sulfide, the same gas responsible for one of the worst smells on Earth. Of course, the smell would be the least of your problems. The atmosphere would freeze you, crush you, and suffocate you long before you had time to complain. And the deeper you fall, the stranger things become. Because Uranus doesn't have a surface. There is nowhere to stand. No ground, no ocean, no continent. You simply keep sinking. The atmosphere becomes thicker. The pressure becomes stronger.
And eventually, you enter a vast ocean, unlike anything on Earth. Deep beneath the clouds lies a gigantic layer of superheated water, ammonia, and methane compressed under unimaginable pressure. Temperatures rise into the thousands of degrees. Pressure becomes millions of times greater than Earth's atmosphere. And somewhere inside this crushing darkness, scientists believe something extraordinary happens. Diamonds are born. Methane molecules break apart under immense pressure. Carbon atoms are squeezed together, and tiny diamonds begin to form. Those diamonds then fall deeper into the planet, like glittering rain. Imagine standing beneath a storm where diamonds fall endlessly through the darkness. Beautiful, terrifying, and completely invisible to human eyes. But Uranus wasn't finished surprising us. For years, Voyager 2 provided humanity's only close-up images of the planet. The photographs showed almost nothing. A smooth blue sphere, featureless, silent, dead.
That image shaped our understanding of Uranus for nearly 4 decades.
Then the James Webb Space Telescope arrived, and everything changed. Using infrared vision, Webb revealed details hidden from ordinary cameras. Suddenly, the boring blue ball came alive. Scientists discovered massive polar storms, bright cloud systems, powerful atmospheric activity, structures hidden beneath the calm appearance. The planet had never been quiet. We simply couldn't see what it was doing. The disguise finally broke. Webb also captured Uranus's rings with stunning clarity. Most people don't even realize Uranus has rings. But unlike Saturn's bright rings, these are dark, thin, ghostly. They circle a planet already tilted onto its side, creating one of the strangest sights in the solar system. A giant cosmic target drifting through endless darkness. And orbiting that target are dozens of moons, each one stranger than the last. One moon in particular stands out, Miranda. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but hidden on its surface is Verona Rupes, possibly the tallest cliff in the entire solar system. More than 20 kilometers high. If you stepped off the edge, the fall could last nearly 10 minutes. 10 minutes of drifting silently toward the frozen surface below. No wind, no sound, just endless falling. Yet perhaps the most unsettling thing about Uranus isn't what we know, it's what we don't know. We've sent spacecraft to Mars, we've landed probes on distant worlds, we've explored Jupiter and Saturn repeatedly. But Uranus? Only one spacecraft has ever visited. One. Everything we've learned comes from a brief encounter that lasted only a few hours. The rest has been guesswork, which means some of the biggest secrets may still be waiting beneath those clouds. A planet knocked sideways, a world colder than it should be, an atmosphere that smells like rot, diamond rain falling through a dark ocean, storms hidden behind a peaceful blue mask. For decades, we called Uranus boring. The truth is far stranger. Because the most dangerous places in the universe rarely look dangerous at first. Sometimes they look calm, silent, beautiful. And that's exactly what makes them terrifying.